Hey there, YouTube. Thanks for stopping by the channel and thanks for clicking play today. Today, we have an amazing day for you. We are back here at Injected Engineering in Kennesaw, Georgia. We have just strapped Brandon's Z06 to the dyno here, and we're going to get some baseline pulls. Then we're going to end up testing some parts that we are going to hope that make power that we're going to be bringing to market for you guys so you guys can get them on your car and make some more power. If you haven't already, guys, today, like, share, and subscribe. Help us grow this channel. Help us keep bringing you good content like this. You guys are going to love this video today. We're going to be doing some awesome things. We're going to be getting dyno numbers, dyno pulls, installs. Trust me, guys, you're going to love this. Hang with us today and let's get into it. All right, guys, so bring us in here. You saw this at the back in the car here. We'll go over it, but looking at these intakes, this is one we have that we've got here that's ready for a customer. We're also going to do some testing today on these, but I mean, look at the paint on this, the coverage, how this intake matches up with both Brandon's seat belts and then the yellow on his car. Of course, we have the yellow intake in the back here that Brandon has previously installed on that, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how that looks. And then with the door open here, you can kind of see it a little bit better, the contrast and how that pulls all this together. Come on, guys, you have to get some of these. We're selling these on our website, dbmracing2019.com, or you can reach us at dbmracing2019@gmail.com and get yourself a painted intake manifold so we can hook you guys up with this. We are running a special on the first 20. We'd love to tell you all about it. All right, guys, so we just finished the baseline pull on Brandon's car. We'll give you those results here in just a second. We're just doing the baseline today because every time you dyno a car, the weather and the temperature, the humidity, the barometric pressure, all of those things, they affect the results you're going to get. It is warmer here today than the last time that we dynoed our cars. It is also more humid today than when last time we dynoed our car. So the most important thing is for us to get you a baseline for today, so that way when we put on these parts that we're going to be testing soon here, that way we get a baseline comparison for today and then an after comparison for the same thing for today. Same atmospheric conditions, same heat, same humidity, all of that, so that way we have an apples to apples comparison on the same car in the same weather on the same dyno. So hang with us, guys. We're going to get you some more of that. All right, guys, well, we just finished the baseline pull here on Brandon's car, so we have an accurate baseline to start with today before we start doing these swaps. And I'm going to tell you guys, with the new Corsa catback that he has on this car, in combination with his cad leads, it is the loudest Z06 I have ever heard. I know Brandon and Justin did a loudness competition at the NCM Bash. They had the decibel meter. They were really about the same. I'm telling you, Justin, this car is way louder now and will certainly be louder than your car. I think your car still sounds better, Justin, but Brandon's car is definitely going to be louder. And I do like the sound of the Corsas that he has now as compared to the stock exhaust with those cat leads. This sounds really good. All right, so you can see here the porting on the intake manifold, and we'll get you the comparison when we get the stock manifold off. But just looking at this here, and then also too on the ports on the bottom here, you can see the porting and how good that looks. Again, guys, looking at the quality of this here, look at the quality. Come on, you guys know you want these for your Z06. We also offer the black throttle bodies here instead of the stock ones that are just the brushed metal, but look at how much better that looks, guys. All right, so we're like halfway through the main part here. We've disconnected all of these from the manifold itself here. This vacuum line here we've taken off. And then what you'll see are the main manifold bolts. There's 4 on each side. We'll disconnect the throttle bodies here. We're just going to pull it out. But you can see we're most of the way, about halfway done here, and then the manifold. We're just letting this cool right now because we had it on the dyno just a minute ago. But we took the time to disconnect all these. Then we'll get the bolts and it'll lift it straight up out. And when we get to that part, I'll do a time lapse for you so you guys can see that coming out. It's all right. So these are our main intake manifold bolts. You'll see here. They're 10 millimeters. There's 5 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We pull the first 4, and then just so we don't end up losing the back 2 on either side, we end up leaving them in there and pulling the intake with that. So. All right, you'll see we are actually disconnecting the main intake manifold bolts. There's 5 on each side, and then we will disconnect the front sensors on the throttle bodies. You'll see that here in a second. We actually leave the last 2 bolts in the manifold itself, so when we lift them out, it comes out with it. It's much safer in our opinion. You don't drop them because you don't want to drop any of these bolts down into the engine bay anywhere to try to have to go fish them out. You can see Brandon loosening that up there, and then we'll just kind of lift that out with the back 2 bolts intact. Oh, what's that one? I got it. Okay, hang on. Just set it right here. I got it. We should put a towel on there for the next time we flip that like that. Alright, so here we're going to be starting. Brandon had actually already installed the Solar Performance ported throttle bodies, and you can see here they are nice. They're ported. They have the lip here, though, that they've kind of cleaned up, and then they have the bar is still round as far as this goes. And of course, their engraving looks nice, and then you can kind of see how much there. And then we're going to come over here, and we're going to see. Look at the Mamo version here. Like that lip has been ported out. It's super smooth. And then one of the other cool things that Mamo does, he mills this bar down, right, so that when you get it at watt, you've got less there. Wind restriction, because you can see here flat bar, round bar, and he takes care of that. But the difference in the port is pretty substantial, so we're hoping it doesn't throw codes, and obviously we're hoping it makes power. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the intake valley here. This is the LT6 without the intake manifold on, which we're going to be putting the new one on here in just a second, but wanted to give you guys a shot of that. And again, look down in there at the porting there on these heads. I know the LT7 is supposed to have ported versions of these heads. They're supposed to flow much better under boost, and obviously boost sensitive porting of the heads really makes a big difference. But the other thing, and Brandon just pointed it out, look where your starter is and your alternator. So hopefully you don't ever have to change your starter out, because that means at a minimum your intake manifold has to come off to change either of those. So all right, we're gonna get the intake on. Here you'll see us placing the manifold back on, test fitting it. We want to make sure that everything sits just perfect. You don't want to pinch any of the gaskets on any of the intake runners. And then we go ahead about attaching the manifold with the bolts here. And you can see we're kind of working opposite each other. I'm working on the middle. He work on the middle. We're going to work on the front. I'll work on the back. That way we do it in a cross fashion, so that way when we torque it down, the manifold itself will sit down flush on there. You don't have any odd torque patterns where it kind of pull the intake one way or another. Again, just taking your time, making sure you're not cross-threading anything, start everything by hand is kind of what we do, and then we finish torquing it down with the manual tools. And then we start to attach the sensors, get the throttle bodies hooked back up, the cables back up, and then we're pretty much good to go. It's actually not as bad as it looks, guys. Just take your time, be safe, be patient, you'll be fine. Okay, so we are finished with the swap on the manifold here, and we are going to get it onto the dyno here. We're strapping it back down, and we have the Mamo throttle bodies on this, and we're going to see what kind of power we make. Now, I will say it's hot. It's like 90 degrees in the shop right now, and that's going to affect how much horsepower we can make. But we did do a pull this morning to kind of get as close as we can to an apples-to-apples comparison. But again, at this point, with it being warmer, if we make 5 to 10 horsepower, we're making some serious power. So we want to see this. I will tell you, though, and Brandon's going to go into it in detail on his video. We took it out for a test drive to make sure we weren't throwing any codes or anything like that. And the throttle response of these Mamo throttle bodies compared to the Solars that were on it is night and day difference. The throttle response is instant. It's razor sharp, and it's super smooth. So I'm really hoping these make power. Give us just a second. Let us get it strapped down and heated back up, and we're going to give this thing a good pull. All right, Brandon, what do you think, man? What's the call? What's the prediction here, buddy?
I'm hoping for best case scenario 615.
All right,
realistically, with the heat, probably 610.
All right. I mean, but still, with the heat, that's a huge gain, man. If you're gonna make that, I mean, we bring them back here on a cold day and make a lot more power.
Yeah.
So
if it's 610, then it's probably really 10 drill. If it's 615, that means it's probably like 20 drill.
Right. I agree with that. Well, we're about to find out. All right, guys. So again, I have to show you this. You guys, look at this intake. Look how gorgeous this thing is. I mean, we are offering any GM color that they have. This happens to be the new Accelerate Yellow. Please let us know. Go to the website, check it out. But I mean, look, the black throttle bodies, in the middle. I mean, come on, guys, you cannot beat this. Look how good this looks, man. All right, and just here, guys, on Brandon's car, I know he did a video and showed you how he's got the yellow seatbelts. Now, I got the recall letter for my car. I'm hoping I can do red when I do the recall just to kind of set it off a little bit, because the yellow on his car looks just that much better than the black ones. And he has a nice video on his channel. Check it out about how he did the swap and what all's involved. So something that's in the shop here, everybody's going to need to see this. Cobra Factory 5 Roadster. I mean, the paint is unbelievable. So nice. But this is the cherry right here, guys. There is a 5.2 flat plane crank Voodoo in this thing. And what do you think this weighs, guys? Like 2,500 pounds? Maybe. And it's got a 5.2 Voodoo GT350 motor in it. I bet it's insanely fast. It is done well, though. I don't know about all the chrome. I'm not as much of a chrome. I think if it was the black accents, would probably look a little bit better. But it works on this car, especially with this paint job. But you never know what you're going to find here at Injected Engineering, man. They have Gen 5 Vipers here, Gen 4 Vipers. They've got a lot of super high horsepower trucks. Just kind of a look around the shop, here what we've got. We've got some twin turbo F-150s. We've got some GT500s, big diesel truck. Of course, Brandon's car on the dyno over here. We're waiting to kick that up and get that going. And we're going to see what it makes. All right, YouTube, so we just finished our pull after we did the swap with the ported manifold and the ported throttle bodies, and we did make power. We picked up power. It's 15 degrees hotter now than it was, as you can see. It's hot in here, and we still made more power than we did with the stock manifold and the solar throttle bodies. How much power? I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to watch Brandon's video to catch that, but I just want you guys to know that we did pick up power with our custom porting, and we will be bringing that to you in Brandon's video. All All right, YouTube. Well, that's it today, man. We got some great numbers today. You can go over to Brandon's Garages on YouTube. Check out his video that will give you all the numbers and the results that we got here. We did make power with some of these parts, and we can't wait to bring them to you. Again, if you guys haven't already, like, share, and subscribe. Help us grow this channel. Help us keep bringing you good content like this. Go over to Brandon's channel, check out his video, find out what numbers that this car made and what parts we're going to be bringing to you here in the near future. If you're going to Carlisle, come by our booth. We're going to be there with our painted intake manifolds, some samples for you to see, some sample cars in there as well. Also, we'll be able to give you some of the information we have on these future parts that we're going to be offering here that have made power today. That's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for watching our videos.